We're going to start building the side rail for your gumball machine. We start this by using the rectangle tool. You can get the rectangle tool out of the tool palette on this side right here, or you can click and hold and use the rectangle tool here. Either way, same tool. So to get started, I'm going to click on Origin, and again, we don't click and drag in SketchUp. Click to start an object. Move your mouse the direction you want to go, and again, without holding the mouse button down, you just simply move your mouse. Then you type in the size you want that rectangle to be. In this case, we want it to be 0.75, comma, 2. So that means 0.75 inches wide by 2 inches deep, and we press return. It's super small when you start this, and that's normal. It's supposed to be. At this point, simply click Shift, hold Shift down and press Z, and that zooms, extends. So that makes it nice and big on the screen. We will then use our guideline tools, which is the tape measure tool. Again, we use the tape measure tool to create guidelines. Okay? And with this tool, we're going to pull from the back edge of the rectangle. So we're kind of going here from left to right, and we're going to move it 0.25 and press return. On the front line, click on the line, slide back, 0.25, press return. Click on the back line, pull forward, 0.25, press return. And again, none of that was done holding the mouse button down. Everything is single clicks. Next, we'll get our line tool, and we'll go from this intersection to that intersection, and then we'll go to the other end, and we'll draw a diagonal line down there as well. Next, I'm going to get the eraser tool. The eraser tool is a tool that you can actually click and drag. And as you drag over something, it will erase it. And what's important here is that it's the little circle on the eraser tool on the left corner there. That's actually kind of the hot spot for that tool. That's really the pointer. So here, I'm going to click and drag across that line and that line. They turn blue, and then when I let go, they disappear because I erased them. So now, I'm going to clip those corners off as well. I'm done with those guidelines at this point, so I'm going to go under the Edit menu, and I'm going to Delete Guides. I'm going to go ahead, save this. We're going to call it Side Rail. Make sure it's in our Documents folder, and click on Save. Next, I'm going to get my Push-Pull tool, and I'm going to raise the surface of this shape up. So again, single click on the surface, move the mouse up, type 11, because we're going to make it 11 inches tall. So I type 11, and I press return. It's now very tall. You don't see the object anymore, at least in its entirety. So again, Shift-Z zooms, extends. What Shift-Z does is take anything that you've drawn and fits it to the screen. So now I have an object that looks like this. Okay. At this point, I want to view this object strictly from the top. And what I can do there is if you go under Camera and go next to Standard Views, it will give you all of the standard views that you want. And then, of course, if you look over here on the right side of these, it gives you a keyboard shortcut to get to those views. So you could either press Command 1, or in this case, since I've already gone to the menu, just click on top. And we're going to see this object directly from the top. Next, I am going to get my tape measure tool, press Shift-Z so I'm nice and close, and I'm going to pull from the top down 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8, press return. From that guideline, I'm going to come another 1/8 of an inch, press return. From the bottom, up 1/8, and from that guideline, up 1/8, press return. Now, from the right side here, the full side of this, I'm going to click on that edge, and I'm going to pull another guideline in, 0.25 or 1/4. Depends on what you want to do there. Next, I'm going to get the rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle from this corner to this corner, and then come down here and do the same. This corner to this corner. I'm done with the guides so that they're not in my way. I'm going to delete guides. So now you should have this space with two rectangles. I'm going to get my orbit tool. I'm going to orbit the object around. I'm going to get my push-pull tool. I'm going to select this surface, click on it, move your mouse down, type in 6.5, press return. Select the other small rectangle, push it down, 6.5, press return. Do Shift Z, and now our side rail has two grooves in it. Next thing we're going to do is put a hole in the top. So I'll get my guideline tool, and I'm going to click on this side. I'm going to come over 1 inch so that it's halfway. So press 1, return. And then from either edge, because again, we're going to find the center, you can go from either one. Halfway would be 3/8. So 3/8, press return. At that intersection, I'm going to draw a circle. When drawing circles, super important. When you click at the origin of your circle, you stay on one of the axes. In this case, either green or red, it doesn't matter. But stay on one of those guidelines because it makes a big difference later with this project that you always draw your circles on one of the axes. I'm going to do green. You can do red. It really doesn't matter as long as you're on one of the axes. Doesn't even matter how far you go because you're going to type in the distance that you want to go. It uses radius, so we're going to do 1/8. Press return. I'm then going to zoom in a bit, get my push-pull tool, click on that circle, push it down 0.5. So we're going to push it down a 1/2 inch. I'm going to go under the File menu and save the drawing. Go under the Edit menu, delete the guides, and then click Shift Z. Save it again, and we'll continue with the next video.